Madam, I do believe I have completely misinterpreted your intentions. Hey everybody, Max here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Pandora. This is the mail-away version. There's two, a white and a black. One is a convention exclusive, I believe, and this one is the one that you can use your action points on. So I decided to go with this one because I think the Devil's Grin logo stands out much better on the white than on the black. I think it probably would have been better if they had gone with white, done the logo in white on the black figure, and I probably would have gotten that one. But anyway, Pandora strikes me as the kind of crazy woman who would wear white after Labor Day. So that kind of put me over the top and decided to get the white one. So anyway, she comes with a number of different things. She comes in this box here, Devil's Grin logo on it. And then she has this pre-cut file card, so you can pause the video and take a look at that if you would like. The blast effects do not come with the figure, but they do look cool with them. She comes with these two Chiappa rhinos in red, which I think is pretty cool. And I've never fired one of these before, but I have held them, and they're very light. There's something about them. They just have kind of a high-tech feel to it, and they're very ergonomic. As strange as they look, they feel very ergonomic. So these are really cool. Some people kind of hate on these, but I don't care. I like them. I think they're pretty cool. And if you know firearms, you let me know in the comments if you've actually fired one of these. Let me know. And I've fired quite a few firearms in my day. She comes with several pairs of hands. In addition to her guns, she has left and right cupping hands, and these are a little bit different. I guess they seem a little big for a woman, but I guess they don't. She's not a dainty person. I guess she's not a dainty woman, so she's kind of husky, I guess. And see grip hands. She doesn't do her nails. Two fists. Got them reversed. Right? She comes with this really cool red Rocky stand, which is very cool. I quite like these new stands, and so having this bloody variant, I guess, is really cool. And she comes with two head sculpts as well. Now, I have the one that has the adjustable ponytail on it, and this one is the non-adjustable, which is fine with me because I don't really like this particular head sculpt. I mean, it's she's kind of got a, I guess she's supposed to have a sneer going here, I guess. And I don't know, it's something in the shape of the mouth. Maybe it's the teeth or maybe the paint. It just seems a little off. However, I do think that the eyes on this sneering face is better. They're not looking up, because this one seems to be looking up and to the side just a little bit. I would much prefer they were looking straight ahead, but I guess there's some variation there. I mean, you can get her in some different poses and different expressions and everything, but she definitely looks like a crazy person. And she gets compared to Zorana. People criticize this character as being a knockoff of Zorana, probably because of I guess the extreme hair color and whatever. But I kind of get a Harley Quinn vibe from her as opposed to Zorana. So particularly this one, which this particular head sculpt with the adjustable hair in the back, that definitely, and I don't even like Harley Quinn, but I do quite like this particular head sculpt, I have to say. So we'll kind of get into the figure here and see what we can see. Like I said, she comes with these great guns. They're red painted, but they're already starting to rub off a little bit in a couple of places. Nothing, I mean, nothing too, not a big deal. I do wonder if the paint will rub off on the interior of these white plastic holsters, but like I said, these are pretty cool looking weapons. If you were into revolvers, I think revolvers have a place in the firearm community. And then she comes with this, is this Talon dagger? Is that what this is called? Whatever it is, it looks cool. And looks like she's got like a gut hook. I think I've seen this before, but not with that little extra notch in the top. But yeah, it fits in the back here. Has a belt and very cool logo. Turned out really well. Very tight paint here. And even though there's a hole for right in the middle of it for a backpack, it still looks really cool. So that's one other thing it comes with. This belt kind of floats around a bit, and I'll probably take it off because it just kind of gets in the way. But I can think of somebody else, another figure I can give this knife to. So, talked about the head sculpt. The eyes are a little cockeyed, which is disappointing, but the paint on the hair is really good, and I do like the fact that the ponytail rotates around, so you can kind of get this I Dream of Jeannie thing kind of going. And there's also a tattoo, Gaelic tattoo on the back, Celtic. Turned out very well, very tight in terms of the detailing. I'm quite impressed. I mean, getting a tattoo on the back of your head, that's nuts to me. But I did know a guy in college. He had a tattoo of like a brain on the back of his head. So anytime he shaved his head down, you could see his hair down, you could see it. So we didn't get along very well either. So I wonder where he is. But nice detail in the braid, variation in the color. Very cool. She has earrings, green eyes, red lips, and I do like the black eyeliner. Just makes her look more maniacal, so that's great. So she's definitely a crazy woman. Want to be careful around her. Let's see, let's straighten out her legs a little bit. And as far as I can tell, these arms and legs are new, exclusive to this particular figure, and that's great. Although I think the torso is Eclipse, the Warpath Eclipse figure, so definitely there's some reuse there, and I'm okay with that. I think the red turned out really well, and it definitely contrasts with the white. It's just a really cool looking aesthetic here. This is before the new Series 5 floating necks, so she has the fixed necks with the disc hinge, and the disc hinge is a little on the loose side. So I am going to throw a little Mod Podge in there and kind of tighten that up a little bit, because that's what I prefer. I don't like loose joints on my figures. So as she turns side to side, and I think the ponytail looks good on that side, so I usually keep it like that. Jacket is an overlay, lots of detail. I've shown off the logo a bit, but there's just a lot of thread, lacing, lots of detail. The paint on the zippers and the buttons and the buckles, everything turned out really well. I'm quite impressed with that. And these arms look nice. Also zippers on the sleeves. Pretty good T-pose, no butterfly joint. There is a bicep swivel, and we do have the double jointed pinless elbows. I don't think any Action Force has been pinned. I don't have any Series 1. Well, no, I take that back. So yeah, I don't think there's been any Action Force figures with pinned joints. I have a Series 1 Sergeant Slaughter. So, wrists, we have a vertical hinge on the left hand, trigger hand. Vertical hinge on the right trigger hand. Looks really good. And good range of motion in the she pivots back and forth, side to side, and not much in range of motion at the waist, but at the diaphragm there is. She bends forward. Well, she's bending at the hip. So at the diaphragm, there's not a whole lot, but she can look down fairly well because of the disc hinge. And she looks up fairly well. So there is a little bit of a bobble in there, in the torso area there, and and I think that has to do with just kind of the way the center post that connects the upper and lower torso the ball hinge that goes into the lower torso there. It's not. It's the way the pieces of the torso fit together. They're not completely snug, and that's where you get that bobble. I've tried to fix it with super glue at times, but it does annoy me a little bit. I don't like loose joints, particularly like a loose ab crunch or anything like that, but sometimes you just can't avoid it. So it is what it is, but I may try and fix it. You can you can heat her up and pop it off, and and go down in there and put some super glue around that post there, and maybe it'll shore it up for a little bit. But let's see. Okay, we did the head, the arms, torso, belt, free floats. She does not have drop down hips, I don't believe. No, she does. Okay, yep, this is before he did away with that and then brought it back. So with the drop down hips, she kicks up better than 90 degrees, and not a fan, not a crazy fan of drop down hips. Some figures I think need it, others don't. Sometimes it just doesn't look right to me. Kind of breaks up the willing suspension of disbelief that these are actual real people. Not that I believe they're real people or anything, but very good new parts. You got a new waist piece here. That's new. So the torso may be clipped, but everything below that and the arms and the jacket, that's all new. The head sculpt, everything, that's all new. So the holsters, you do have they kind of hide a thigh swivel. They're okay. They stay on there fairly well, but they can, with the right one at least, kind of comes loose a little bit. But really good paint. So white plastic, red paint with some silver on the buckles. That's great. So that looks good. And she definitely has a kind of 1980s style look to her, doesn't she? With all the zippers, and it almost reminds me of parachute pants and something that Michael Jackson would wear in the 80s. So good texture, interesting design for the pant legs, and the boots look really cool. Definitely kind of an 80s style for sure. Legs are a little bit on the stiff side, but she kicks back way far. That's not one thing about Action Force. The legs are typically very stiff, but I'd rather that than too loose. So sometimes I get stiff legs and loose arms. That is kind of curious. Curiouser and curiouser. And then there is a boot swivel in the boot. So that's cool. And I do like the design. White belt, buckles, tabs, buckle holes, all that. And good design there. And really good range of motion on the feet. She goes up that far, and then you saw me go down. She points, and then side to side, and tread on the bottom. And more boot swivels. So that is Pandora. Yeah, nice figure, I gotta say. I wasn't sure if I would ever get one of these, but give it enough time and I will probably buy everything from Valaverse, because I do quite like the figures. Series 5 has had some been a little hit and miss here and there, but on a whole it's a hit. But didn't have a Pandora, and if I recall correctly, this was the first figure that Bobby Valla designed. So he's got a soft place in his heart for this character. So, if she's kind of the catalyst for the line, then hey, and I'm a fan, I might as well own a copy. So yeah, pretty cool. Other than kind of a loose neck there in the disc hinge, she's a solid figure. I'm going to give her a warp factor of, I'll say 8.5. Yep, I think she's a good solid 8.5. I think blast effects would have been cool to come with, and but I guess in a blister, it would have been cool to have her own blister card as opposed to just coming in a plastic bag inside a cardboard box. But I don't know why that is for these kind of mail away and exclusive figures. Why they get that kind of packaging. So if you are listening or are in the know, hey, sound off in the comments. Let me know what you think. But yeah, warp factor of 8.5 for Miss Pandora here, and I wouldn't go near her if you value your throat. She's a dangerous woman. She's bonkers with a razor. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Continue to be awesome. Hey guys, so I forgot to do one thing. I actually forgot that the ponytails are swappable. I completely assumed this one right here seemed so tight in the port that I was afraid I was going to rip the thing off. I thought it was actually permanently sculpted. So nope, they are swappable. So you can pop out this kind of curly Q one out of the sneering Pandora head and pop it into the Harley Quinn head if you so choose, if you like that look for her, and vice versa. If you like that. I actually kind of prefer the way she came, which is the Harley Quinn head with the longer ponytail. But you can do that. So I apologize for forgetting to add that, and I'm adding it here to correct. So, all right, guys, thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time.